That is awesome. Welcome. Thank you for coming, and please keep coming back. Definitely. Alrighty, I am Billy. I'm one of your community organizers. This is Caitlin, Tyler, and we've got Nicole down here, and Kyle's the guy running around taking care of all kinds of stuff. And then we have Abby. Hi, Abby. Put your hand up. There you go. And we also have the caffeinators, by the way. Caffeinators, put your hands up. These are folks that will help you traverse the 1 million cups maze and find out everything going on. They volunteer their time, so if you need some help, just grab one of them. What we do is we'll have two entrepreneurs in the community get up here and they'll introduce their business, get about 6 minutes apiece, and then after that, we're going to turn it over to our expert panel, and then we'll turn it over to you, the audience, for the really hard questions and whatnot. We're going to have our expert panel introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Xander Winkle. I'm going to put this down here a little bit. Hi, I've had too much coffee, you can already tell. My name is Xander Winkle. I'm with the Innovation Center Business Incubator. Who is already familiar with the Innovation Center? That is awesome, and then I get to introduce ourselves to some new folks. So we are a traditional business incubator out in Independence. We provide space, education, and assistance to startup companies. We've got commercial kitchens, offices, and other non-food and tech manufacturing space as well. So that's what I do. Thanks.
Thank you, Xander. And folks, if you will, pull out your cell phones and then download the 1 Million Cups app. If you have not done it, then we'll all know that you're here. You'll be able to provide feedback for our entrepreneurs once they're done. Well, right now, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Mark Davis with Real Quantum, LLC. Let's give him a hand.
I got one too few hands. Let me put that down. I too have had plenty of coffee, so I'm doing great. Again, Mark Davis, CEO of Real Quantum, co-founder. We create commercial real estate software in the cloud, purely cloud native stuff. This is our core team. We've actually got a team of 12 people. I swear we do have ladies in the team. Not here, but we do have ladies in the team. We'll talk about that later. I've delivered a lot of big solutions for a lot of big companies. Same for Dan Wishhouse, who's our CTO. Dan Craig is a nationally recognized appraisal expert. Jeff Weiner is a Superman in marketing. So let me describe the problem for you really simply. Commercial real estate appraisers are the unsung heroes and the invisible force that drives a lot of the industry that you see. This building would not have been renovated and turned into PlexPod without a commercial real estate appraisal. A developer has an idea, goes to a bank, pitches it, bank says, great, I'll have to get an appraisal. Until that appraisal is done, there's no deal, money doesn't move. So you can see that's important for anything from One Light to PlexPod. The current solutions in our space, the things that are used to create that report, that appraisal report, are terrible. I'm not supposed to knock my competition, but it's fair. They're really terrible. It's a hot mess of Word, Excel, remote databases, Access, oh my gosh. What we've provided is secure, productive, accurate cloud software for the commercial appraisal industry. That software is unique, amazingly enough, in that it is self-contained, feature complete, and secure by its very nature. There's nothing like it in the industry. We've got a few competitive advantages. We've got nothing but professionals advising about our product. We've got nothing but professional appraisers who are driving our product features. And we've got nothing but highly experienced professional designers and developers building our products. That can't be said of any other. We used a behavioral psychologist's continuous input to make a product that's really easy to use. I don't know all the terms, cognitive loading, eye dynamics, I don't know. But he was pretty awesome. And nobody else, amazingly, has a mobile application that's built for the purpose. we go. So what's the value of real quantum? My team made me dial this back. So I was really describing once worst to first. Now it's more like average to first. But average to first, you'll see about a 33% increase in the productivity of an appraisal office. You know, that's the number one pitch that we make. On top of that, with the accuracy that's available, you save a lot of time in review. People don't kick back their appraisal because it's wrong. And you can retain new hires because the technology is not a hot mess. People who come out of school and look at appraisal and intern as appraisers tend not to stay in the industry because the solutions are so antiquated and oddball. And I'm in IT, so I get to say this. You don't need an office IT guy so you can fire office IT guy. Love office IT guys, but you don't need them this way. Okay. There we go. So we've built a number of partner relationships that are really important and cool if you're on the inside of this game. You might not recognize these names, but they're big names in their space. The one you will recognize is SAP. SAP has selected us as a startup, small company, technical partner, strategic partner. So we work with SAP to have access to the greatest minds in data science and machine learning that SAP brings to bear. The Appraiser Coalition, RIGS, the Appraisal Institute, these are all just areas of designation and professional certification that are buddying up with us to get our products out. And then lastly, Geodata Plus is our express way to obtaining all the public data and the listing data for commercial properties without having to do it ourselves. What's the competitive landscape like? Amazingly, everybody else is in the left side, because I got to draw the picture. And we're in the upper right, because again, my picture. But it's important to note that all of those products are built the exact same way. They're a jacked up combination of Word, Excel, and a remote database. They're hard to use, they're hard to understand, learning curve is enormous. Also, in the bottom left, all of those products have one characteristic that's good for me, bad for them. They have a tendency to actually lose customer data. And people put up with that. It's amazing. So we're looking at actually an untapped market opportunity. Only 20% of this market has been captured by current solutions. That's 10% that are using some commercial solution that's available, and 10% that are locked up in big companies that have their own internal tech. So 80% of that market is completely unreached. As we're selling, we're finding we get about half and half from those two groups. We hope to tip that scale and get more of that 80%. How big is the industry size? This is fees collected. So the appraisers get fees to do the work. How much do they get? If you total it up, we know exactly who these appraisers are, by the way. They're actually listed. You end up $4.5 billion for the U.S. industry size in appraisal fees. The global market is estimated 3 times that. 3 times. So with this market opportunity, 30,000 appraisers, we recommend a 1-to-1 ratio, 30,000 staff. Our target price is $2,400 a user, annual subscription. That gets you to 144 million market value. We know exactly who these users are. We can get their email addresses, at least the appraisers, not their staff. They're all designated and registered somewhere. We're not guessing at the market. Again, that's a target price. We're not selling at that right now because we want to shorten the sales cycles. We want to get market penetration. We want to get a product out there. We want to make sure that we get money so we stay alive. You know, money's what keeps us alive. And the product price will increase over the next 2 years. We've already tested the target price and it is tolerable, it's acceptable. We're in phase 1, we've moved to phase 2. We're getting better fit, more features, we're increasing our deal size. Our partnerships are actually starting to come online faster than we thought. And international has heated up far earlier than we thought it would. So international is probably now bumping itself down into the phase 2, phase 3. We'll be in Canada in 2 weeks. We'll be in Kenya first half of next year, and the rest of Africa over the next 18 months. So, incredible news. Our seed round is full. We went out, we opened a round, we raised money, we got the money that we needed. Here's how we apportioned it, and as of Monday, we filled it. And that's it for me. Thanks.
So first of all, congratulations on your seed fund. That's exciting.
We say we raise Midwest money. So, you know, I drive a Volkswagen, shop at Costco, so we don't spend a lot of money. We actually delivered our product without ever paying a penny for infrastructure at all. We built it all in the free tier of various cloud components.
Oh, but that's probably a good thing too, because if you raise more, I'd be a little bit worried. So that's the perfect, you're right on track, that's
right,
awesome.
Right.
So the difficulty for me asking questions is, well, you are selling to what you said is an invisible client. So unless full disclosure, I am not a commercial property appraiser, so I don't have that much experience with the actual functionality. One of my questions is, how, from your experience because you've got a huge market of folks that you said are not using anything.
Yes.
From what that's telling me is, how well are these consumers adopting new technology? I know there's lots of markets. I was working with a software company that's trying to sell to farmers. Mm-hmm. Farmers, historically, not wanting to adopt a new technology very quickly. What, in your market research and your research with your potential customer, have you realized about those folks? How willing are they to adopt? What strategies have worked really well to get them to try this new platform?
That's an excellent question. There are a few dimensions to that. First of all, how open are they to change, fair to poor? Because many of them have been doing it for decades. The average age of commercial appraisers, talking average now, so imagine that curve, 62. So on the right side is, holy crap, I don't know how old you are. If you're doing appraisal and the average is 62, but the industry is actually hollowed out. So between 30 and 50, there's a notable absence of people. Some of that had to do with 2008, significant downturns in all industries. But these people more advanced in years are kind of set in their ways. They're thinking, I'm going to cash out. So reaching them has really caused us to double down on our message of simplicity. And couple that with, if you want to get out of your business and you want to sell your business, my line is, you can't sell a file cabinet. So if you want to sell your business, you better have that data in the cloud, because otherwise the value is really not, it's just not there.
Interesting. There's another thing that and I just learned this from your website and did a little poking around. Another value proposition that you advertise on your website that I'd like you to tell me a little bit more about is the legal liability of the appraisal. So you had advertised, hey, we're going to make sure it's more accurate so that the bank or the potential buyer doesn't challenge this appraisal. And I wanted to learn a little bit more about how that process works and how you kind of solve that problem.
Right. So I was joking with somebody in the hall. An appraisal is never correct, because somebody's going to say it's too high and somebody's going to say it's too low for the same value, for the same number. Seller says low, buyer says high. Many times the seller or the buyer at the end of the transaction can end up unhappy with the result and take you to court. Whether it's justified or not, they can take you to court. And if you do end up in court and there are errors in your appraisal, that's enough for an attorney to then naturally begin to question your professional ability your credibility, and the way you arrive at those numbers. So accuracy is key to defending yourself because you're going to get sued.
The other question I have, and I know since you got to draw the graph, you put yourself in the perfect category.
Of course.
Now, this is a little bit of an unfair question. What have you either identified or what have some of your prospective customers identified as a particular area for improvement for the application? Is there anything that you would love for it to do in the future or an issue that you would like for it to address that it does not yet address?
That's a good question. So there are two aspects, but it comes down to infinite variability. So if my solution is Word and Excel in some combination, I can do absolutely anything in there, some of it good, some of it bad. Our product does not permit that. I don't want to provide that kind of variability. We call what we have structured variability. You can change text, you can add and remove sections, but what comes out is, to a large part, carefully controlled. The second thing is, look, we're new. There are features that we haven't added yet that other products have or other solutions have. We'll need another couple of months to drop some of those really key features that will make us more marketable. So I wish we had that. I'm glad we don't have the other because, frankly, banks love the fact that our reports are consistent in their structure. They don't have to wonder where in the world is the opinion of value, where in the world is the rent roll. They know exactly where it is in our reports.
Interesting. And my final question, kind of just a little way further out into the future. When I first was looking at your website, I was under the assumption that there was some level of AI kind of behind it. You're not there yet, because like you said, right now the current solution is like here. So you're like, let's improve it to here. But looking towards the future, what have you, because you're an expert in this field, what do you see, what does that look like 5, 10, 15 years into the future, how commercial property is appraised, and how are you with your company? And I was just way out there kind of thinking about that.
Yeah, not as far as you think. The problem I have right now is because appraisers are on the senior side, they look at technology many times as a threat. What we're trying to do is educate the appraisal community that technology is your friend. Put two big arms around it, give it a hug, and let it help you. We are bringing assistive technology, and I'll leave it at that, to the commercial appraisal process that will actually make professional appraisers even more accurate and even more effective. Their jobs are not in jeopardy whatsoever. In fact, the productivity and their revenue will rise. That's a message that's going to take a little selling, but that's where we're headed.
So anyone who has questions, if you want to line up by the mic, I have one question while everyone is lining up. We've talked a lot about realquantum and its solutions and how it can help, but let's talk about you and your background and how realquantum came about.
Oh, sure. Me? I don't know how many of you are old enough to know, but if you watch the Seoul Olympics, you're welcome. So that was my software that delivered the video. And that was my first job out of school, which is nuts. Who gives a guy a job right out of school like that? How did realquantum come to be? So a buddy and I, who go to Bible study every Friday morning and crack it on 30, happened to be the only ones that showed up one day. And he had been wham about how hard his job was, how bad the software was. And I finally said, all right, fine, dude, go ahead. Let me know. I'm an engineer. I know hard. That can't be hard. And as he described it, I could see the software was terrible. So I said, after about 30 minutes, you need to flip the script. You're in the wrong business. You should be in the software business. He told me I was nuts. Went back and talked to his partners and said, yeah, well, maybe there's something to it. And 3 years later, here we are.
That's awesome. It looks like we have quite a few people lined up, so if you want to start off with the first question.
Thank you. Great presentation. A couple of quick questions first. How long have you been live?
Okay, so the company was founded May of 2015. We had an MVP in January of this year, and we had our first sales booked in February of this year.
So I noticed that you are affiliated with several organizations. The only one I recognized not being an appraiser was RICS, which is an international organization.
Yes.
Is that how you're getting your foothold internationally? Because for a young organization, I would have thought you would want to start domestically and then spread out.
That's an excellent question. So we haven't been pushing into international, we're being pulled. We've been approached by a delegation from Korea, by a delegation from Kenya. We've been repeatedly contacted by Australia and Canada, and they all want our products, and we want to give them. We have established a model that we believe will work for providing in-country support that's not us. It's going to be a brand ambassador and affiliate. But yeah, we're getting pulled into international. We're focused on North America, specifically the U.S. domestic.
Thank you. Next question.
Mark, congratulations on your traction.
Thanks very much.
I have a similar question on the international market. Do you understand how those international markets differ from the U.S. market, and how are you addressing that difference?
Yes. Well, we understand how Kenya and Canada are different. We didn't get a good read on Korea. Kenya is a bit of a wild, wild west environment. Chinese money is driving a lot of construction, a lot of development, a lot of demand for appraisal, and there's a lot of fraud happening. I don't mean to call out any banks, but there's a lot of fraud happening that our product can help to reduce. So we have a fraud prevention feature we'll be delivering later this year, thanks to an intern that we've picked up, somebody who wants to make a career change. That fraud prevention feature is going to help our affiliate in Kenya, and we believe that the problem exists elsewhere. But the requirements of a software product, the requirements of an appraisal internationally, are far simpler, and the bar is far lower in terms of features. So amazingly, we have much better market fit outside the U.S. You got to get that metric problem done, though.
Hello, congratulations on everything. I was going to say, how would that work for appraisal for commercial regarding fixer-uppers, the people that fix and flip their business? Because a lot of times the appraisal is what drives us to actually buy the property. And if we have the wrong appraiser, we're kind of wasting our time. So,
So you see those values as low then? Yeah. So really, from the perspective of our product, it's just a question of what the bank has requested in their scope. So the bank will look at that deal, they'll look at the value of the product as it exists, and then they'll look at the appraised value of the product, the property, after it's been improved. It's a pretty straightforward thing. Then they'll also look at the cash flow that the property can generate, and the bank will then assess the risk. So, whether it's a patch of dirt or a 4-unit or corporate woods, our software has to cover it all, and it does.
Thank you.
Well, you already answered my question I had about how you were going to ensure that what's of value in the U.S. market is of value in other markets, things like that. So one of the more simple questions I had was, you mentioned early on that some of your competition has lost customers' data. So what will prevent you from losing customers' data?
2 words, Heroku and AWS. So Heroku backs us up to the nines in our data layer. We've got hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, and annual backups that are in a constant rotation, along with key management that is also keeping each of those backups secure. In addition to that, we take certain snapshot backups whenever we're doing some migrations to production, and we do rolling live upgrades. We don't bring down our production environment ever. And because of that, we like to think that we're able to guarantee that we're not going to lose any data. I think we're not. It looks like we're not. I just hope I'm not proved wrong. I hope I didn't jinx myself.
So our final question is, what can we as a community do to help you?
So what can you do to help me? My passion and my purpose in Real Quantum and everything that it can represent is to elevate the community. So we're built on a principle of caring, and that caring extends to the community, particularly the technical community. I want to raise the level of technical expertise here in the Kansas City Metro, but specifically I want to do that with diverse groups. So women and minorities are an emphasis for us, and we look for opportunities to find women and minorities who, as I describe them, are one good break short of awesome, and then give them that break. And what can you do to help me? Help me to do that same thing. We need to see diverse executive leadership. We need to see diverse technical leadership and technical delivery. We need people who are trained up and ready to go. I'm trying to find them, but I'm also committed to build them. We have brought people onto our company. We're tiny, but we punch way above our weight. So we've brought people into the company already that we have our path for executive leadership and for technical expertise. So one way you can help is, donate to causes that will advance women and minorities. So our company, again, tiny, just raised money, kind of mostly broke, have already contributed significantly in that area. There's an event coming up called Rails Girls. They need donations of $250, $500, $1,000. I know there are plenty of people in this audience who can step up with us and make those contributions. The point here is to get women and girls in a position where, even if they don't choose to be a developer, can still come into the workforce with no fear whatsoever of technology. So if you can make a donation like that, that's the way you can help me today. Come see me.
Thanks so much for being here.
All right, it's time for Mug Club. So if you've been here 10 or more times, please raise your hand.
I hope you're nice to me because I'm choosing. Okay.
Make sure, have you gotten a mug? No. Yay, welcome.
So introduce yourself and tell us why you come to 1 Million Cups.
My name is Christy Clemens Hoffman. I'm the owner of Radiate Wellness, a holistic virtual wellness center, and I come here because I get inspired each time that I visit.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here.
Thank you. All right, now we'll have an announcement from Kyle.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out. Can you raise your hand if you know Global Entrepreneurship Week? Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. Global Entrepreneurship Week is a week-long celebration of international job creators and innovators. It started here in Kansas City 11 years ago. We are celebrating it this year from November 12th to the 16th. And the same way we did last year, we are crowdsourcing events from the community. So if you would like to share your entrepreneurial expertise or host a conversation that you think is important to Kansas City's entrepreneurial community and the entrepreneurial community globally, please go to www.gewkc.org and submit your event idea. Events are due by the end of this week, so don't wait. Go to www.gewkc.org and submit your event. PlexPod will again be the home base for Global Entrepreneurship Week, so you get free space and free marketing. www.gewkc.org. Thanks, guys.
All right, now we'll hear from Stephanie of FlexPod.
Hey, good morning, guys. Wonderful to see all of you here. I just have a few quick announcements. FlexPod just recently released a new initiative called Her Space, which is a curated women's space, which we just dedicated a space to on the first floor on this north side. So anyone who's been here before and have seen some painting going on and renovation, you might have wondered what's going on. But we really just wanted to create a space women-centric, dedicated to women to come together in the community to collaborate, build community, and we definitely want to have an emphasis on programming. So I invite everyone after, just go over there, check it out. You can find out more information on our website. And as always, right after 1 Million Cups, if you're here, we offer free co-working over in the annex, so definitely take advantage of that. And we actually have Hush Blackwell over there who is providing free consultations for anyone who is interested. So definitely pop over to her space, check it out, and free co-working. Thanks.
And just a reminder, we are on Instagram now, so Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. 1 Million Cups KC. Give us a follow. I'm live tweeting and Instagram storying. If you can't be here, you can follow along at home. So go give us a follow, please. And now we will watch our update from Startland News.
Hey there everyone, Startland News reporter Austin Barnes here with another look at what's trending in the Kansas City startup ecosystem this week. A KCK teacher is reimagining education. Wyandotte High School business teacher Chevette Dinkins is letting her students take charge of the way they learn. The teacher and her applied business development class are hard at work, overhauling the room you see here into a co-working space. You can get involved. Dinkins and her class are now accepting donations for the space, officially named Suite 1886. You can view their Amazon wish list on startlandnews.com. Mixed in KC. A new blend of cocktails is flowing on the plaza. The Made in KC tasting room is now open inside the Made in KC marketplace, offering 6 cocktails made using locally produced spirits. Barista turned culinary rising star Mendoza Diaz developed the bar's drinks, while local maker Coaster Oven chipped in with custom coasters used to identify the bar's beer samples. Empowered women empower women. That's the idea behind PlexPod's new Her Space co-working area. The Westport Commons space serves to inspire, engage, build community, and promote discovery amongst women and those who identify in such a way. And those are just a few of the stories trending around town this week, but as always, you can find more by logging on to startlandnews.com or by connecting with us on Facebook.
Let's give them a round of applause. It's a great addition. And now, help me welcome Ben with Nickel and Dime Supplement Club.
Thank you, Caitlin, and thank you, Mark, as well, for that previously exciting to hear about stuff like that and stuff going on here in the Kansas City area. As Caitlin said, my name is Ben Harris. I'm the COO and co-founder of Nickel and Dime Supplement Club. We are the first of our kind workout supplement membership company. And our team right now consists of 3 people. Myself, our other co-founder, Mike, who is local here in Kansas City, couldn't make it this morning, but he is our COO. And we have Dr. Brad Dieter, who's our Director of Product Development, who is currently a research scientist at Washington State University in Spokane, Washington. He brings a lot to us from the supplement background, as Mark alluded to, having a team, and I'm definitely not the supplement guy, not the brains behind this operation by any means. I just kind of get on stage and talk about it and help us market. But together, the 3 of us, been able to get some traction in the market. Our experience began 3 years ago, which we had a previous supplement company called MB Nutrition. We had launched it in my old hometown in Florida. As you can see, within a few months of launching, we were the #1 pre-workout, top rated on Amazon.com for a couple of months running. And it was a great experience. We got to learn a lot. I personally learned a lot about digital marketing at that time when it came to traffic generation and getting conversions and sales. But the main takeaway we had from this business after we sold it was that the supplement industry had a major problem. It wasn't evolving like other CPG markets are, like you've seen razors, beds, and now golf balls in the direct-to-consumer type business model, especially integrated with subscriptions. And they were overpriced products, markups sometimes as high as 400%, which, as we know, for a CPG good, is too high. They don't need to be sold for that high, and it's kind of something that took me a while to wrap my mind around. And that evolved to a cluttered marketplace. With the barrier for entry that was essentially non-existent, you could enter the market, make your products overseas, and sell them for sky-high numbers, and they were selling. And this came and evolved to a lot of consumers being uneducated, because everyone claiming the superior product started competing on price and became extremely saturated.
which I thought was a time to jump in and do things a little differently, breeds room for differentiation. The primary sales channel is still brick and mortar retail. Obviously, we all know with the rise of Amazon and e-commerce, that's going to take over very soon. But still, the world's largest supplement retailer is GNC. There's plenty of locations here in Kansas City that are about every city in the United States. But in 2014, they were trading for $60 a share. Right now, they're being traded for $3. Pretty crazy. As you can see how the times are changing, which is time for us to jump in. Which brought us to Nickel and Dime Supplement Club. We are an exclusive membership company that ship you a box of supplements that you go through our website and it walks through the process of something that is free to join. There's no membership fee and no membership fee, and it's free to cancel. If you want to join once, never see from me again, totally fine. We launched our website and quickly got a few PR quote in Forbes magazine, and we had a quick mention in Huffington Post about subscription box businesses, which is really neat to think that, okay, maybe somebody likes our idea besides me. And here's a screenshot of our website, which we wanted to have clear call to actions, whether they were direct or transitional, of asking you to take action, direct response type marketing to try the club. And what this does is it walks you through supplements you would need before, during, and after lifting weights. Because this industry is very big on selling on value, what we wanted to do was sell off need. Because there's a little bit of difference between the two. And with having that, if you don't need, depending on the type of workouts you do, don't need supplements that we have, I don't want to sell you anything. Based off, we were going after the market who's already spending this money, and we wanted to save them money. That's exactly what this is do. And essentially, we're not really selling anything. It kind of takes that out of the process. It's almost as if you were talking to a sales representative, non-commissioned, that's not trying to sell you something that they get paid under the table for, they get commissioned for to push certain products, just based off your needs and letting you know exactly what's in it and what it does, so you find out if it's beneficial or not for you. To create experience, kind of revolutionize the buying process and revolutionize the price point of this industry. And what this has done is made our subscribers to customers and now members much more comfortable. And this is all backed by our 115% NDSC money back guarantee. So what this means is that at any point, for any reason at all, you contact us if you're not completely satisfied with your products, and we will refund 100% of your purchase plus 15% of your purchase price in cash to your pocket. No one's taken us up yet, so I think to help with conversion, to make people feel more comfortable, and that's a stamp that we wanted to put on our products, that we were that confident that this would make an impact on your life. So I believe that it has made an impact on our life. Here's a few reviews from our website. Our top sellers are whey protein right now, and as Sierra mentioned, chocolate milk or whey protein. It's extremely tasteful. If you like chocolate, it really kind of hits you in the face. Your taste buds like, whoa, that is chocolate. Some people think that it's a milkshake almost, but a lot of people are stacking that with other products for muscle recovery, but some people are just using it as a meal replacement to make a protein shake and things like that. And down low we have Sandra. I'm not sure how well we can all see this, but she wrote a huge paragraph in all caps, so I guess let's just assume that's her yelling how much she liked it. But she said, best pre-workout ever. So maybe she was all hyped up on typing on the computer. We don't know yet, but she was pretty excited. So if you can see on our website, it's littered with 5-star reviews. We've been scaling carefully. We have a big sign in our office, brick by brick, because with e-commerce, direct-to-consumer subscription model, we just ship out of a storage unit here in KC that's climate controlled. So it's definitely something that we didn't want to bite off more than we can chew and be able to handle all the fulfillment. So we found our customers through Facebook. Right now, that's kind of my nerdy thing, is we had started targeting a bunch of broad audiences, because I wanted to have a direct response model that got someone who's scrolling through Facebook, looking at pictures of their friends' babies and dogs and stuff, to get their attention, for them to raise their hand and say, okay, like I am interested in hearing that. How are you that affordable? What are you guys doing? And we did about 6 weeks of this, and we're able to collect just under 6,000 email addresses at a really good price point. So it kind of gave us the tone that, okay, people are interested in this. This is something that we can sell. And with doing that, that's still what we do today, being able to create a system where I can put $1 into advertising and get $2 out. Then essentially, sky's the limit from there. It's a human ATM machine, really. And for the future for us, we're still brand new. We chose to headquarter here in Kansas City to keep up with the speed of Amazon. You can ship 2-day domestic really anywhere in the United States. from when you order and then when your membership is reordered. And our fiscal year will conclude in July of 19. And we want to be able to save our members over $1 million. We have a simple algorithm that compares our price point to the industry average. Every time a transaction happens on our website, that number is taken and put into a bucket of money, the amount that's saved. We have a goal this year to save over $1 million for our members, and we're going to have, it's being formulated now, but we're having a countdown timer on our website that's going to update automatically and live whenever a transaction takes place to add to that amount of money. And the more we sell, the more we can make. The more we can make, our unit cost goes down, and our margin's never going to change. So if it's going to cost us less to make it, it's going to cost our consumers less to buy it, which is great. You know, we're in this industry to change it forever, to make it more affordable, similar as if Dollar Shave Club did to the razor industry. And here is my email. One thing that we do, we ship free samples to anybody. So if y'all want to take a look at our website, and you can screenshot this or you know, take a picture of it. It'll be on Facebook. But if you want to email me, let you know you're here today, just give us your phone number and email. We'll ship you anything you'd like to try for free. So thank you so much. I feel like I'm getting on the stage of Oprah right now.
Fantastic presentation.
Thank you.
This is really exciting. Okay, so my first question, one of the things I was trying to figure out looking at your website for your products, and something as a consumer, I kind of wanted to know, are you manufacturing your own product? Are you having somebody co-package that for you? Is it white labeled? I'm trying to figure out like where's the product coming from?
My garage, I'm kidding. No, we have a FDA non-GMO certified facility out in Florida near my old home. I just moved here, by the way, from Florida like 3 days ago. I drove the whole way.
Welcome to Kansas City.
So it's near my hometown in Florida, and we have an exclusive rights agreement with them. So Brad really helped us look at what products, as soon as we were able to collect email addresses, what products should we be able to sell. So between looking at top sellers just in the world and polling our email list, we were able to look at, what do they want? Who cares what I wanted? We wanted to see, what our potential audience wanted to buy. So with that, we looked at the top sellers of those products in the world and got Brad's help to know, what's a filler, what's rice flour, all this stuff. Because like I said, I don't know the first darn thing. Brad's the genius behind all of that. So we were able to kind of bring him in to help us look at that, and then got an exclusive rights agreement with the manufacturer who makes them and ships them to us.
The next question there with the product itself, and something that I saw really as a key value proposition that you didn't mention today, but I saw on the website and with a lot of the reviews, was the actual ingredients and the transparency thereof, that I thought was something that folks really value. Can you tell me a little bit more about that process and kind of what you've gotten and how you did that market research to figure out, and how you use that as a marketing piece as well?
I'm glad you asked. So I think that the vulnerability and transparency from a business owner, as we all know from being business owners, goes an extremely long way with talking about your products or service and kind of your story and how you're becoming, in a sense, the attractive character behind your brand. And with us being so open about exactly what's in everything, if somebody wanted to contact a manufacturer and make the exact product I do, they're more than welcome to. But they're not our brand and they're not us. But that's something that we always wanted to have out there, and that's something that we learned with MB Nutrition. We did that as well with our first company. And I think that worked extremely well with people, then again, trusting us, because if we can go from, like, trust, and then purchases, to have our members and grow our membership base, that's one thing that didn't want us to hold us back. I don't want anyone to be on our website or a product page and have any question that's not unanswered. You know what I mean?
Awesome, I like that. Okay, so I'm going to take a different track here. So you've got manufacturing in Florida, a key business partner in, you said Seattle?
Uh-huh.
You're based here in Kansas City. Logistics of a product with a shelf life are already difficult. Tell me about this process with having your team pretty much spread across the entire continental U.S. and just the inherent challenges you face with a shelf-stable product in logistics.
Thank God for communication channels they have now, like Slack. Otherwise, I probably would have jumped off the roof by now. I'm kidding. But I think having a shelf-life product hasn't been too good. I mean, too hard for us. There's a 2-life shelf expiration date on all of our products. So within that, there's only 25 servings per container, no matter what product. They're all portioned the same amount. So I think that's hadn't been something that we're really going to face, kind of sell through. Hopefully, when we open the gates and drive traffic, we pretty much, can take in orders as we want.
Another question, are there any other, with the model, and you've got fantastic experience, you've already had a company here before, what do you see in the industry as future challenges to this new business model, and how are you thinking forward on tackling those?
Well, future challenges is, it's different with something that you consume, right? Because everyone wants to know, like, what's in it, does it taste like crap? There's all kinds of questions that arouse when you're looking at something like this, and it's an industry that there's some lies going around there. So people already have a guard up, and that's why we're looking to tap into the market for people who are already spending this type of money, and to have that same congruent message of you're already spending this. Why not save and try with us? If you hate it, we'll give you your money back. We'll actually pay you, so you can actually make money if you want to continue to buy stuff off me. Hasn't happened yet, but that's the vulnerability stuff that the risk we're willing to take. So I think that challenges facing that. I think if we can just keep getting our early adapters at the same rate of which we are, we'll be able to expand our product line, expand our flavors, and I think that once we kind of establish that core of members, they sort of do the selling for you. I want the products to sell themselves, and I want the service to sell itself, and I think that's where the magic happens.
So you've clearly had some success here before. This is going to be a little bit tougher question. What, in your marketing history, what have you done that just flopped? What's something that you're like, man, I learned a lesson there, not doing that again?
Gosh. When it comes to marketing, we've always looked at traffic generation. Things that have flopped, I've spent money on, t-shirts that are still sitting in my garage that people literally didn't want. So I guess maybe a graphic design problem. But in terms of marketing, it's all about knowing your numbers, especially from driving traffic of impressions, click-throughs, conversions, things like that. And then you can reverse engineer and get kind of nerdy with it to look at what you need to do. But in terms of flopping, have I had ads that have flopped? 100%. Of targeting the wrong audience, because our ability, or our job as marketers is to test. As I mentioned up there, no matter what kind of business you have, I hate to break it to you, your opinion's irrelevant, because no one cares what you think. It's all about what your audience thinks, what your customers think, and it's your job to figure that out. And once you do, that's when you pour gas on the fire. So there's definitely, budgets that we had that were predicted to, this probably won't work, and if it does, fantastic. So there's been plenty of ad sets that I have personally launched that, I would have more enjoyment throwing money out the window here on I-35. So, yeah.
All right, my last question, a little bit of a tough one too. So the name. So when I saw it at first, I think nickel and dime, that's not a good thing. So I just want to know, I'll give you the last word on this, the thought process, and why it is a good name, and then I'm quiet.
So Mike and Brad actually both, they're probably watching right now, we're looking into actually changing it. So we're still within our first batch of manufacturing, so they're already branded and everything like that. But a name change is actually something we're looking into. I wouldn't overlook it, and I don't think it's really ever too late to do something like that. But if we can have our membership count, still with, in the thousands, probably under 5,000. I think that it's still early enough that we can do something like that. So it's in the future, and we'll announce it.
I liked hearing you say you were talking about advertising and some of the ads flopped. I think it's important for entrepreneurs to know that sometimes ads are going to flop because you need to see who isn't your audience. That's just as important as who is your audience. What else can you tell entrepreneurs about how to market? What's most important about marketing? If someone comes to you and they're just like, I don't know what to do at this point, what is your advice for them?
Would be that a lot of people throw money out the window when it comes to advertising because they're not giving any call to action to anything. As you see, obviously if your brand is as big as Coke, you can just put a Coke billboard. But if you're trying to launch a brand and trying to build it, you don't want to be spending any money out the window without getting something in return. Probably won't be a sale because it takes the average consumer 7 to 9 times before they see a brand, before they even take action. I think it's way higher personally. I mean, I'll review like a shoe on Amazon that costs $30 for 4 days before I decided. I'm sure everybody can relate, we've all been there. But with doing that, it's always something, whether they're downloading a PDF, scheduling a phone call, giving you something in return, asking them to take. It's all about the micro commitments you can get somebody to take before you ask them to buy. So you have to build that like and trust. And when you're over the internet, you don't have the ability to speak to them. So if you can do that through copywriting and sales videos and capturing their attention and entertaining people, your odds become much more in your favor.
Perfect. Well, if people want to start lining up, I have one more question, but it totally fell out of my head and I can't remember it, so clearly it wasn't a very important question. But whoever wants to start with their question.
Okay, first question.
Thank you. So I'm really curious how, if you were affected by the August algorithm change that Google implemented and targeted health supplemental industry.
It definitely did take an effect, but I have to say, we have not done anything with AdWords. Our organic traffic is mainly just direct or through email. So, which I guess email is a whole other generation of traffic, but that's probably a huge obstacle we face right now. I know a little bit about SEO and I know enough to talk shop, but I'm by no means an expert. And I think if, the majority of our traffic did come through Google, that would have been a huge issue. But as I mentioned, we've kind of created a system that right now through Facebook advertising, because it wasn't my job to really create traffic, I just had to go out and find it because it's out there. And once we found that through Facebook and have been able to, drive a couple hundred per day, and when you're able to target the audience with the right budget, it becomes fairly cost effective. So Facebook right now, which their algorithm is actually slowly changing, but I think right now we're mainly sticking through social media rather than going heavy into organic traffic. We just blog, but that's about it.
Next question.
Hi. Actually, their Facebook is hilarious. We were just creeping on it, so check it out. So I was wondering if you had thought of utilizing influencers in the supplement industry or health industry.
Mm-hmm. So it's definitely something, looking into the future, I think there's going to be a huge shift in terms of micro-influencing, because there's a lot of people who buy fake followers. There's a supplement company out there that just got, revealed of photoshopping and stuff like that, and it was us looking at things like that. It's like, just some guy or girl that's just on steroids. It's like, oh, take this, take it, but they're not taking it at all. That's kind of the shit that we're trying to have. So with influencer marketing, I think micro-influencing is going to be a lot better because they statistically actually have more likes, comments, and interaction than the someone that's got 1.5 million followers, it's got 10,000 likes, you're thinking like, holy cow, that's really awesome. But someone that's got 1,000 followers, they get 60, 70, 80 likes a picture, actually has more of an influence on our brand. So that's definitely something that that we're going to be looking into for sure.
Good morning. Congrats on your success thus far. So you've talked a little bit about the distrust in the market, and you've got somebody on your team who has a nutritional background, and the science behind it is very important. So have you considered doing scientific data tracking with some of your clients to be able to make a track record where you're kind of proving to your customers and potential customers down the road that this is actually helpful for their workout and improving that process?
That's a great thought. When you say scientific data tracking, what do you mean by that? Sorry, I have a follow-up question.
Some sort of system where you could do a baseline test where there's a workout without the supplement, or maybe competitors' supplements, and the results based for that, how the customer's feeling after the workout, how effective it was, and then basically juxtapositioning that with your own products and how your products are improving that process for the client in their workout and their results.
So really the only thing that we've had so far is a couple of video testimonials that we have on landing pages. But I do like that idea that you brought up. I'll actually come talk to you after this. That's a great idea. So thank you for bringing that up.
Next question.
So So the supplement industry is obviously one of those that has a lot of noise out there. And for someone like myself, when I don't know where to start, I like to go to a store where I can talk to someone and ask questions. So for someone that's like myself that might not be very familiar with supplements and is tired of all the noise, how do you help someone go through your products and really understand what they mean?
So in a sense, we have a funnel almost that you go through of, filling out, what is it that you're looking for? Whether it's, you like to do a lot of cardio, or you're going for strength, you want to gain muscle, lose weight, tone up, things like that. And then there's recommended stacks towards that, and it's going to let you know the ingredients in it and what they do. Because a lot of them, I can't even pronounce. I'm in my mid-20s. I don't even know what it is. So with kind of having that lets you know, like, oh, okay, well, this does that, that does that, that does that. And I'm a huge advocate of just try before you buy. So I know it kind of elongates the sales process a little bit, but if you want to buy our products, fantastic. But like I mentioned, we do free sample shipping. That's just, one serving, one scoop, to make sure that you actually like it. I think that, asking someone to fork over $60, $70 for, a 30 serving tub of whatever without having tried it, kind of stinks. So, with us having price points that are unbeatable, and adding that feature in, I think makes us the best in the industry.
Hey, I'm a marketing professional, and I love talking marketing, but I feel like we've talked way too much marketing today. So I'm going to challenge you a bit. You already acknowledged that the industry is known to be a little bit shady or potentially unethical. So talk a little bit about your facility. You said FDA what?
Yes.
And is it FDA approved? Are your products?
So it's really and I think why the barrier for entry is so, like I mentioned, it's essentially non-existent here, is you have to contract your supplements through an FDA manufactured facility. So they're certified by the Food and Drug Administration, and it's almost, they kind of carry that burden of, the legality behind it, which, you have to be very clear and upfront that it's manufactured by this guy for this guy. And with that, because I don't even know, I guess we could make them. I think it's illegal. But with having, there's really about a key 5 or 6 manufacturers here in the United States that make up pretty much every supplement that you see in the store. They all almost come from the same spot, which is kind of weird to think about, but it's true. So with us, we tested a lot of products. We wanted to keep it, domestic, made in the USA. And I think that, having that facility is huge for us, but it's not something that we own. Where we are really, ultimately, we'd like to have our own manufacturing facility here in Kansas City. As we kind of root here, and we don't need anything that's, the size of an Amazon warehouse, but something that, could make our products. But having that being said, is something that, without it, we wouldn't be able to exist. So we essentially buy it from a manufacturer, and our markups are low. And you can't really compete on price unless you know you can't be beat. And fortunately, we know we can't be beat because we know how much it costs to make them. So with us, cutting down on the markup is hopefully, in our plan, is going to be able to change the industry and the way consumers shop for these CPG goods. I don't know if that answers your question. I kind of ranted, sorry.
So our final question is, how can we as a community help you? I don't know what's wrong with me today. Sorry, guys.
You said it right. With us being here in Kansas City, like I mentioned, we have a signer office, big corporate. Right now, we are very concentrated on sales. They mentioned, as Paul Graham alludes to, from Y Combinator, and how they describe the word startup, which I kind of gets thrown around a lot, but we truly are a startup. And by that, I mean we can scale very quickly. There's a period of slow to no growth, and then it really spikes. And we've got to be prepared to take that spike. But before we get there, we are just concentrated on sales. I had a mentor who told me that you don't need, PR, this, that, and the other. Like, you need sales. And we would like to get our feet out on the street more. Like I mentioned, we're huge for try before you buy. We're switching to a platform where we'll be able to take POS purchases, but like to do some demo days. I'm not sure what kind of, I'm brand new here. I know a lot of gyms do sell their own products. They would kind of shy away from us, but any gyms that don't, we love to get out and do demo days at events and things like that, to have samples to give. And like I said, we can take POS purchases, be able to sign up members right then and there.
Thank you so much. If everyone could give Ben a hand. Thanks so much for being here. So, in case you don't remember, there is free co-working today at PlexPod in the annex. So if you have time, go hang out. Next week, we're going to have Run Cal Industries and Best Life Bakery. So we'll see you next Wednesday at 9 a.m.